because she was talking about bodily autonomy. And she said, as long as your body, you're not hurting anybody, then it's fine. And he said, okay, so what if two twin brothers want to have an incestual sexual relationship? Is that fine? Is that moral? And she said, what? And she starts like, well, no, I don't. She starts getting noticeably flustered. I don't know that that's moral. I don't think that that's moral. I wouldn't call that moral. It's like, why not? They have bodily autonomy. What's wrong with it? She's like, what are you talking about? Do people even do that? And he didn't say this, but they do. You ever heard of the Island Boys? They actually did do that. They made out with each other on OnlyFans. It's freaking disgusting, honestly. And she said, is that even a thing? And then he said, well, what's the problem? Bodily autonomy. She said, they're hurting anybody? No, it's consensual. Totally consensual. So they're not hurting anybody. What's wrong with it? And she's like, well, and this is the argument she makes. Now, this is important. This has to be talked about. This is your leftist all-star here. This is your leftist all-star, as she calls herself, self-proclaimed. She's on Jubilee. They invited her on there because she's one of the all-stars of the Democratic Party and the left, and she's really a winner. She's making people really think about how left is so better than the right wing. You know what I mean? This is your leftist all-star left wing. I want you to pay real quick attention to what this lady had to say. Because she said, and I quote, well, the relationship is still hurting people outside of themselves because their family, if they were to find out about their twin brother incestual relationship, would be mortified by it, and it would destroy their family, and therefore they're hurting their family, and so therefore it's an immoral relationship. That's the argument she made, word for word. Go back and watch it. On it all. Go back and watch it. Don't you lie. Don't you lie and perpetuate about what she said. Go back and watch the argument. That's what she said. If I misrepresented her, please prove it. She said that, right? Please drop it. Okay? And if you can make a claim with a video reacting, please then drop it, okay? So she says this, right? And then she says they'd also be outcasted by society. And so it's bad for themselves. They're causing harm to themselves because society would outcast them and treat them horribly because of their incestual relationship. Okay. Well, see, the point is, and while she was saying that to the screen, I was thinking to myself the whole time she's talking, isn't that like called a homosexual relationship? Like, isn't that what that is? Isn't that what that means? And then I was like, why isn't he telling her, isn't that a homosexual relationship? Like, didn't you just describe a homosexual relationship? And he didn't say anything for the first 5 minutes, but then eventually did bring it up. He said, I can say the same thing about any homosexual relationship. And I'm like, yes, finally, see? That's what I'm talking about, man. Exactly. That doesn't make any sense. You're a liberal, right? You're far left. You're super hardcore pro-LGBTQ, right? Like, I'm sure you are. Don't say you're not. I doubt that. I believe it. I mean, you'd lose your audience overnight if you weren't, right? I don't think you're allowed to be in the left wing if you're not super hardcore pro-LGBTQ, right? And so you said out of your own mouth that the reason why it's an immoral relationship is because they could hurt the family. Okay. So what about all those homosexuals that are in homosexual relationships and their family are all Christians or Muslims or Jews? And they're against homosexuality and they destroy the relationship with their family. So by the definition, and can't get out of it now, you dug yourself into this hole. You said it. I didn't say it, not me. You said it. That if incestual relationships would cause harm in that way, then they're immoral. By your own definition, homosexuality and homosexual relationships are immoral. By your own definition. You realize that? That's what you said. And then you added to it. You doubled down. They would harm themselves because they would be outcasted by society. People would treat them differently. Yeah, isn't that the same for homosexual relationships, isn't it? So